Welcome to the show. Hope you are doing great. I know, first of all, I told you last week I would tell you the answer to the riddle last week, or last episode. I told you in this episode I'd tell you the answer, and I realized I can't do that because as I record this episode, that episode hasn't even published yet. It is going to publish tomorrow, so you will get the answer very soon, but I need to give you a chance to hear it. And email me your responses or text me your responses and then acknowledge the winner. So stay tuned. It will be in the next one. I'm going to give you another riddle today. And again, as soon as I record the next episode after this has gone public, which I turn these around very fast. I got a great team of people who does all the production. They put it out there. They get it. All I do is record it, send it to them. So literally, we're not talking a long time. We're talking like a day. So be patient. It's coming. But I got another riddle for you today. Okay? And this one, I don't know. I'm sensing somebody's going to get it. These are not designed to be easy riddles. These are designed to be tough ones. So I'm really interested to see who, if anybody, without cheating. Again, I know you can cheat and get the answers, but I'm relying on you. I'm relying on good faith efforts to do this the right way and come out with your get the brain juices going and come out with the answer through your own mental power. So here is today's riddle. A woman was born in 1971, yet is celebrating her 38th birthday this year. How is that possible? And this is present day. This is 2022. Again, a woman was born in 1971, yet she is celebrating her 38th birthday this year. How is that possible? Again, email me or text me your answers. The first person, again, I'll throw out the same rewards. First person I will give acknowledgement to you will become famous because I'll mention your name on the next episode. And I will send you a book, Tomorrow's Leader book, signed by yours truly, with a personal note in there. So anybody who knows that, shoot that over to me. Either email john@lauritogroup.com or shoot me a text, 860-573-7230. All right. With that, let's begin today's episode. Today, as in the past, I've done these business blunders, and I'm going to call them business bravos. I don't know, trying to think of a B word and blunders and bravos. So in any event, I got a couple of them for you, and this is really not. I'm going to give credit to this place because I really like this place. So I hesitate to call it a blunder, but there's one thing, as you're going to find out in a minute, that they could do to easily grow their business. I'm going to say by 10%. That's my rough estimate, and I'll tell you what the scoop is. So every morning, Jeff and I do our workouts. We go to Lifetime Gym. And we are driving back from the gym, and we probably are crossing this intersection. For those local to North Carolina, to Holly Springs area, we go to the Lifetime Gym in Cary. We're driving back on Kildare and cross over 1010 Road. And on the intersection there, if you've been through there recently, you know what I'm talking about. There's a little Cuban truck. It's called Papi's Cuban Cafe. And this place is great. If you look it up, it's got almost 5 stars. So they're just dynamite. So any event, little kind of parking lot, and it's just this truck that's Papi's Cuban Cafe. And so I'm a big coffee nut. Jeff is too. We love coffee. So any opportunity to stop somewhere and get a Cuban coffee is phenomenal. If you haven't had it, wow, that is absolutely some of the best of the best. So, one day we're driving back from the gym, we see this, and we're like, hey, you want to grab a cup of coffee? Cuban coffee? And we stop there, and we always drive by that intersection. By the time we're done with our workout and driving home, it's usually probably 7:30, between 7:30 and 7:45. So we pull up there, we're all excited to get our cup of coffee, and we walk up to the thing, and they're closed. We're like, why are they closed? It's 7:30. There's cars all over the place on the road. It's a work week weekday. People are on their way to work. Like, why would a coffee shop, why would this place that has Cuban coffee be closed at 7:30, 7:45? So we kind of knock on the window there, and the guy opens up. Again, it's one of these food truck type of places. And we're like, are you guys closed or open? He said, no, we're closed. We don't open until 8. We're like, 8? Oh, man. He said, well, what were you guys looking for? We said, just a cup of coffee. We wanted like the little Cubano, whatever. And he's like, all right, no problem. I'll make it for you. So he makes it for us. It's phenomenal. It's absolutely fantastic. And we enjoyed it. It was great. Well, we always go by there the same time. So it's always 7:30, 7:45. And we're always running into the same dilemma. They're closed. They don't open till 8 o'clock in the morning. And I talk about this with Jeff. And we're like, why are they closed? So here's the thing. We've been by there probably, I don't know, at least half a dozen times, maybe 10 times. And some of the times they're super nice. I mean, some of the times, if not most of the times, they actually serve us, even though they're technically not open. We just walk up and we're like, you still haven't changed the hours? You're still not open till 8? And I think we've even told them, like, why you got all these, I don't know if this was one of those things. Maybe I just didn't say it, and I've got to next time I'm there. But I'm like, you guys have got to open at 7 o'clock. Like, you got so much traffic coming through here. Like, literally, everybody's on their way to work. This is a really busy intersection. Most of them are stopped when the light is red right in front of your place. So you've got such an opportunity to scoop up so much business in that hour. I mean, honestly, I just think about how many people would want a Cuban breakfast sandwich. Oh, my gosh, they looked phenomenal. The coffee, I mean, what a great way to start the day. Like, and people, and I'm one of these, that when I get a good coffee that I like, there were times where I went to Starbucks, I swear to God, I'm not lying about this, 4 times a day. It was ridiculous at the height of my coffee addiction, and I was a big Starbucks guy. And I'm going to quickly tell another story, and I'll go back to this other story. This was when I was in where was I? I was running the Hartford, Connecticut office. I was asked to also run the Worcester, Massachusetts office as the interim field vice president. So and it was 1 or 2 days a week I was going there. So on those days that I would go there, it was an hour or maybe an hour and a half drive. I can't remember. And so I would wake up at I would leave at 6 in the morning, let's say. And I would stop immediately and I would get a quad latte. Now, quad, as you can deduce from that name, means 4. It's a latte with 4 shots of espresso in it. For those of you who have not had a large latte is like 2 shots. I had 4. So that's basically the equivalent of 4 cups of coffee at 6 a.m. as I'm just about to embark on my trip to work. And I drive that hour and a half. And when I got there at 7:30, I would stop at another Starbucks and I would get another quad latte. So I'd walk into the office for these advisors I was their interim field vice president, and I'd be there 1 or 2 days a week. I was jacked up on caffeine. I mean, I was literally like going nuts. And then I'd go through my day. I'd have a couple more cups of coffee through the day. And then I'd leave at night at the end of the day, and I would stop at another Starbucks, and I would order the same exact thing. I'd order a quad latte, 4 more shots. And then there were times in between that during the day I'd stop at another Starbucks. I mean, it was nuts. I mean, can you imagine that? I remember asking the Starbucks people, I'm like, what's the most amount of, I've got 4 shots in my latte. What's the most amount you've had somebody order? They said 12. I'm like, 12? As in 12 espresso shots and 1 cup of coffee? They said, yeah. They said, actually, legally or whatever, Starbucks law, that's the most we can put in it. I'm like, what makes it 12? Why not 15? Why not 10? What? And they're like, I don't know. Somebody just said that's the most we can do. I don't know if that's unhealthy at that point. I would think 10's unhealthy. Now, I did 12 in the course of a day. That's a lot. Okay, so, but I just was amazed by that. 1 drink with 12 cups of coffee. Basically, you're having 12 cups of coffee in 1 cup. That's what it is. I mean, that's unbelievable. But hey, who am I to judge? I drink a lot of I don't drink as much coffee now as I did. But anyways, okay, let me get back to Papi's Cuban Cafe. So Papi's has this great, they've got a recipe for success, no pun intended. They've got great food, a great menu, great people, really good guys, great location, like no overhead because they've got this truck and they're literally right. This location is this big parking lot, easy place for people to get off, perfect spot. Yet the one thing they're not doing is they're not opening early enough. If they changed and opened at 7 a.m., I truly feel like they would earn 10% more revenue easily and they'd get more customers. So it's probably more like 15 to 20%. They'd get repeat business because once people get hooked on their coffee, they're coming back and back and back. The other mistake is they're closed on Mondays. They're open every other day. Now, I know a lot of restaurants and businesses that are closed on Mondays, but even if you had to close on Monday, just keep it. I don't know. This is just me thinking, but I'm like, is there a way to just get somebody there to get that morning traffic? Mondays for people, that's the day they need a lot of coffee. I'm just saying. Now, these guys were there already, so it wasn't like they'd be coming in earlier. They're already there to open up at 7 a.m. Now, they were willing and able because most of the time they did service. So to their credit, they did. But if they were willing to serve us, why not just open the doors, put a big sign out there, open at 7 a.m. Again, they'd have tons and tons of business. So, I don't know, little thing that could make a huge difference. I'm always thinking about that for businesses. What's the smallest thing that you can do that might add a dramatic return on investment? That extra hour a day, and maybe they take it off on the other side, or maybe they take an hour off from 3 to 4, whatever. Close down. That extra hour on the front end is huge return on investment because all it is really, it's just the extra, ingredients and food that they'd buy to be able to cook and prepare for that hour. And it's the people power. It's the two owners, which are the owners that are there. So, it's just yourself waking up an hour early. That's really it. And for the most part, it wasn't like they had a 10-person staff or they had to hire other people. It's just the two owners. So I'm just thinking, it's a relatively small investment for a huge return on investment. Anyways, if you're local, check out Papi's Cuban Cafe. They are not sponsoring this show. This is just my, 2 cents. Really cool place. Maybe I'll try and get them as a sponsor. Who knows? But this is not a sponsored show. This is just my true belief. That's it. Great place to check out. Little business lesson in there. Here's the second thing, though. I think about businesses that are doing it right. Here's an example of a business really doing it right. I'm a huge golfer. I love golf. I know many of my listeners love golf. And you know the deal. You go to different courses. There's a certain kind of vibe at some. Some are more casual. Some are more higher end. Some have no rules or very little rules. Some have a lot of rules. I remember a friend of mine invited me to a his country club, and he was what's called a social member. I don't know, it was a social member, an executive member, not a social member, an executive member, which means his membership was less money than a full membership, and for that he had less privileges, so to speak. So he was a lower end member at a very, very, very high end club. He had been on a waiting list for like 5, 6, 7 years to get into this club. He paid a lot of money up front to get it. And his membership annually was thousands of dollars a year. I mean, well over $10,000 a year. I think if I remember, it was like 15 grand, maybe even 20. It was a huge amount of money. And I remember he inviting me and 2 other people. And with that, he listed out a list of rules. Literally. We got a list of rules that we had to follow, including that you could not, your hat had to be pointed forward. You had to have a collared shirt, that's a common rule on a golf club, had to be tucked in. You could not change your golf shoes. You couldn't put your spikes on in the parking lot. Like you couldn't put your shoes on in the parking lot. Like what? Like why? Cares about that? I mean, I always do that. Like I get out of my car, I take my flip-flops or whatever sneakers off, and I put my spikes on. Why would you not be able to do it in the parking lot? So I show up at his place, and I pick him up, and I'm wearing flip-flops, and he's looking at me paranoid. He's like, what? How come you're wearing flip flops? You can't change in the parking lot. I'm like, why? I'm just gonna change in the parking lot. That's fine, man. He's like, you can't. And I'm like, I know. You sent me the rules. I get it. Blah blah blah. I'm just messing with you. But I gotta say, it was the most stressful round of golf I've ever played in my life. I gotta tell you honestly, from the pressure to stay on time, on point and pace, the pressure to follow all these weird rules. I can't remember. This was many years ago, and I can't remember exactly all the rules, but there were some weird ones that I hadn't even seen, including that can't change your spikes in the parking lot. And it just was not fun. It took the fun out of a great experience. Golfing is one of my favorite things to do. I was just out, by the way, for Father's Day with my son, Nick, and my dad. Now, my dad is 87, just actually tomorrow turning 88. Wow. 88 years old. And and he still plays great. He's out there, healthy as can be, knock on wood. And I'm thinking, wow, how cool is it to have 3 generations of people on a golf course playing golf together. And I said that to my dad and my son. I'm like, we have 3 generations playing together. How many people have that opportunity? Either that they have 3 generations that are alive and well enough to play golf, or that locally, geographically are close enough to do it, or that are available, whatever the case is. Here we were on Father's Day playing golf. Now, I'm going to contrast the experience at that other high-end golf course with this. We went to a place, for those of you local in North Carolina, you know what I'm talking about, in Holly Springs, called, or I guess it's in Apex, I think, called Knights Play. Now, this is a par 3 golf course, and granted, some people have mixed feelings on par 3 golf courses, including me. I like to get out there and drive the ball and really play a real round of golf, but it is a ton of fun. And it's a great course. They keep it in really good condition. It's lighted, so you can play it like up to midnight. I think they're open till midnight. It's amazing to play at night. And they've got 27 holes, so you've got a lot of holes that you can play. This place gets packed. When I say packed, they've got a driving range. I don't think I've ever seen the driving range less than 90% full. And it's a huge driving range. It's a huge driving range. And the course itself, in North Carolina, the great thing about it, you can play golf 12 months a year, and it's open 12 months a year. I've never seen the course not crowded, put it that way. Now, it moves fast because it's a par 3 course. Sometimes it's really crowded, though. But what I will tell you, what they do so well is just make everything so easy. Like they are so friendly. Sometimes you go to golf courses and they're just, they get a little bit of a pompous attitude. Like, they're doing you a favor by letting you in here, and it's a public course, and, they're all persnickety about their rules and the pace of play and all this kind of stuff. And the starter's got an attitude and all this kind of stuff. These guys could not be nicer. Genuinely, they appreciate you coming in, even though they're crushing it. They're crushing it. I know they're crushing it with profits. They are so appreciative, and it shows. The way they treat you, the way they talk to you, the way they make it as easy as possible for you to golf there. If you don't, my dad was calling me the day before, and he said, was our golf game tee time Saturday? And I said, no, it was on Father's Day. It was on Sunday at 4:00. He said, oh, I thought it was Saturday we were talking about. And then Sunday rolls around, and I'm like, oh, geez, what if I did accident? Maybe I said on the phone Saturday. And what went through my mind is, you know what? If I screwed up and we showed up, they would have been fine. They would have worked us in somehow. I guarantee they would have been like, hey, guys, no worries about it. We'll get you in. That's the type of place it is. So they just make it so easy. If you decide you pay for 18, you decide you don't want to pay 18, you go in, it's not an issue. They're like, no problem. You just say, hey, I only played 9. There's no looking at the watch to try and verify the time, and they don't listen. Great. Hey, they open the cash register. You're not even done with the sentence. They open up the cash register and give you money for the back 9 that you didn't play, or give you a coupon to play the next one. They are incredibly nice and just make it such a good experience. So Knights Play Golf. If you haven't gotten a chance, if you're local, play it. It's a lot of fun. If you're in town, let me know. I'll play. I'll go out there with you. It's a lot of fun. So anyway, just little things. I think about, as a business owner, as a leader, how easy is it for people to do business with your company? How easy, what kind of experience is it? Forget how great your product or service is. that course could have been in magnificent shape. But if they were jerks and made the experience not fun, or and there's tons of golf courses out there like that. It's just, listen, you got a choice. People have a choice on where they play and what they do and who they give business to. You got so much competition out there. These little things make a big difference. Papi's Cuban Cafe, great place. Not a lot of Cuban places around here. People have a choice at 7:30 in the morning. Are they going to go to Dunkin' Donuts and get coffee, or are they going to go to your place? They'd much rather go to your place, but you got to be open. You got to let people know you're open, and then, run some specials or whatever you want to do. But there's tons of business to get out there. These small things make all the difference in the world. So my point today with this Blunder and Bravo, just think through and sometimes you got to ask other people. Sometimes you got to ask your customers, what are we doing that you love? I always think about this. There's 3 questions I'd love to ask. What am I doing that you want, or what are we doing that you want us to do more of, continue doing or doing more of? Second question, what are we doing that you need us to stop or change? Okay, here's the third question. What are we not doing that you want us to start doing? Okay, so what are we doing that you want us to continue to do or do more of? Second question, what are we doing that you need us to stop or do less of or change? And third question, really good one, what are we not doing that we should be doing? Okay, ask your people in the organization that question, ask yourself that question, ask your customers that question. You will get unbelievable answers. Okay, great questions. Maybe I'll change the title of this to 3 questions you need to ask rather than, whatever. I'm just thinking out loud because sometimes I do that. Any event, hope this was helpful for everybody. As always, I greatly appreciate you listening. Like this, share this, get some other people involved. This podcast is growing like wildfire. I love it. And I appreciate all the help that you're doing to make that happen, including going down below, give 5 stars, because that does make a difference. You know it. I know it. All right. Great. Hope you enjoyed the show. Hope you enjoy your day. Stay healthy, stay happy, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.